Alright, so this is my take two on this because I was adult and I forgot to hit record. So, my name is Adriel Hernandez and I'm gonna be teaching y'all a little about something called sine law and cosine law. And then I'm also gonna sprinkle on a little bit of that, that area of triangle knowledge upon you. But, it's not too hard. It's just a lot of formulas, or not a lot of formulas, a lot of plugging stuff in where it's supposed to be. But I just thought I'd show you guys a little snippet of the IB formula booklet. We're gonna be using section 5.3. It just has three formulas. We're primarily gonna use the first two. The second one's real easy. You just plug like three things in. But so I'm gonna start off by showing you guys say some sorry some sine law, and typically sine law is going to be used for oh yeah, bear with me, I'm using this new program. I don't really know how it works, so like hopefully this works and I don't mess it up. But so sine law is pretty much going to be used when you know, say this is your triangle. Oh my god, that is not straight at all. I hate this. Oh my god. Oh my god, how I do this, please. Oh my god, that's not how I do it. Okay, so I'm gonna just do it like this. So sine law is gonna be, say this is your triangle, and remember that you're gonna want to mark your, actually I should do that bigger. I'm gonna do that bigger, hold on. Just give me a little quickie. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, and then your formulas are gonna disappear, but I'll write them down, don't worry. Don't worry, Papa Adriel got your back. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. So, say this is, Jesus Christ. Say this is your triangle. Just remember that you're gonna want to label your angles in capital letters and the corresponding side length in lowercase. So essentially, sine rule is when you're given at least one angle measure, the corresponding side length, and either one other side and one other angle measure. So say I have angle B. Say I have angle B and side length B, but I'm also given angle C, but nothing else. I can use essentially the sine rule says that the sine of B, oh my god, the sine of B should over B, the side length, should be equivalent to sine of C over C side, oh my god, over C side length. That's what it essentially says. So, say we're given, so that's pretty much what it says. So, given that, it's more easier. I'll show you how it's applied in the math world. Oh man, that don't work. I'll give you an example because it's way easier to explain with an example, and I'll give you one with a side length and I'll give you one while we're looking for a side length and one when we're looking for an angle. So say I want to say this is my triangle. Triangle D E F. Its corresponding sides are going to be E, F, and then D. And say this equals 81 degrees, 38 degrees, and 61. So, and I'm also given 23 for side length D. Jesus Christ, my handwriting is atrocious. I'm so sorry to whoever has to grade this. But my math is pretty good, so that's all that matters. And uh say I want to find in or find side E. I'm gonna have to use this angle because even though I'm missing side E, I still needed to set up my equation, and I have to look and see what angle what angle has a corresponding side already given to me, and I see that I have angle D and side length D. So given that, I can set up my equation I'll set it up over here. So I can set up my equation and say that sine. Nah, I'm fine. Let me just put it like that. Sine. Oh my god, sine of E. Sine of 38 because we're given sine of 38 over E equals sine of 61 over 23. And I know they don't like the term, but it's essentially cross multiply, but we know we don't do no cross multiply. So we're gonna want to get everything that's in the denominator. We're gonna want to get it in the top. So it's basically just all solving for solving an equation, or yeah, we're finding E. We're gonna find E. So we're gonna multiply. So we're gonna multiply. Oh my god. Multiply 23 on both sides, and then we're gonna get, and then I mean you pretty much know, multiply E also on this side, and then E. I think I don't really want to like do too many steps because I don't want to do it. But so essentially we'll get 23 sine of 38 equals sine of 61 times E. So right away, I mean, we already know that we want to get we want to get E alone, and the only thing holding E alone is gonna be the sine of 61. So keep in mind, sine is sine and cosine. They're just numbers that we apply to like other numbers. It's a number that we're multiplying. This is just a multiplication problem. So how do we undo multiplication? We know that we have to divide. So we're gonna have to divide sine of 61 on both sides. Yeah, doing it right. Sine of 61. And so in IB, you're gonna want to give, so if you plug it into your calculator, you're gonna get, let's see, so if you plug it into your calculator, it's gonna give you 10 digits, and we know that in graphing calculators they're only gonna give you up to 10 digits. But it's really important also to make sure that your graphing calculator mode is in degrees, otherwise you're gonna get a completely wrong answer. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to copy down those 10 digits that you get, which you should have got 16 here. E should equal approximate, or it should, to 10 digits, 16.1901382. And in IB, you're going to want to give it to 3 sig figs, so E approximately equals 16.2. And, you don't want to get no marks down, because, like, some teachers be giving you the marks down, but you're gonna wanna, since I didn't put any units, you're gonna wanna put E equals approximately 16.2 units. So pretty much that's how law. Oh, hold on. Oh my god. Okay, so that's gonna be how law of sine is put into practice when you're gonna want to solve for a side length. Okay, so I'm gonna show you also how it's I don't know. It's like it's whatever to do it like that. But like, when you're I just like using inverse sine and everything. So next I'm gonna show you how to do it using inverse sine. So I'm gonna let me write a whole new triangle. So it's gonna be like this. So it's gonna be triangle A B C, and their side lengths are gonna be 13.4, 9.2, and then I'm gonna be given the angle measurement of 41. So we're gonna try and solve for angle B. All right, good. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to set it up for sine of 41 over 9.2 equals 13.4 over B. And feel free to stop at any time and try and work through. I'm gonna end up giving the steps all at one, pretty much. I'll work through it, and you can just come back and watch and see how I did it. But you're gonna want to pretty much do the same thing. So you're gonna want to get the the denominators up in the numerators. So you're gonna do the same thing and multiply and get them out. So, but I'm gonna skip ahead. So it's gonna be sine of 41 times 13.4. Oh my god, my family's coming downstairs. Sorry, I had some family coming down. But picking up where we left off, so it's gonna be sine of 41 equals here, let me just go channel there. It's gonna be sine of 41 times 13.4 equals sine of B times 9.2. And you can just go ahead and divide the 9.2 on both sides. 9.2. And then you can just go, and then you can just and then you can just go ahead. Sorry, I had a little bit of a blind moment. So you can go ahead and go sine of 41 13.4 times 13.4 over 9.2 equals sine of B. Sine of B. And so we know that sine is a completely other number than B. We know that these two are essentially being multiplied. So we have to, the way to take out sine is to do the inverse property of sine, which you just multiply. You can just multiply this times the inverse sine, which is sine to the negative first power. But you're also going to want to do that on this side. So it's going to be all of that times sine to the negative first power, or the inverse sine. And you're going to be left with sine to the negative first power equals sine times sine times 41 times 13.4 over 9.2 equals B. And so like in IB, you can pretty much they want it to 3 sig figs or to the exact answer, and since they're only asking for just to find angle B, you can literally leave it that B equals the inverse sine of sine times 41 times 13.4 over 9.2 degrees. Like, I don't know. It's a hassle for teachers to do it, to want to bring up the calculator and everything, but rather than reducing it and risking sig fig errors, you're gonna wanna just you can just leave it like that. Pretty simple, facilissimo. So I'm gonna go on to law of cosines is a little more challenging. So I'm gonna go back to this one, and I'm just gonna erase all this. Oh my god! I'm just gonna erase all this. Or I can just let's see if I can get this. Come on. Almost there. Nah, just erase the rest. So law of cosines is this is law of cosines. I got you. Don't worry. So law of cosines is gonna be used when you have. So say this is your, oh my god, a mess. Law of cosines is going to be used when you're given a triangle. You're given a triangle, its angle. So this is C, this is B, this is A, and then this is big C. Law of cosines is going to be when you're given an angle, its corresponding side, and the two other sides. And this is pretty much going to help you find all like the other angles. And I don't know, it's real easy. It's real simple. It's way more simple than law of science to me. I don't know. You pretty much have to plug it in and you get like an exact value and you can just leave it like that. It just gets a little confusing when you have to like I show you. So law. So here's a problem. So say we're given hypothetically or theoretically, say we're given this triangle. That's way excessive. Say we're given this triangle. And say this is F, big F, D, and E. And say we were given this angle 21 for this side length, FD, and 18 for side length EF. But say we were tasked upon finding the length of F. All we would have to do is substitute for the equation, and like we can see it over here that this is the equation for law of cosines. And pretty much all you're going to want to do is substitute for A, B, and C, E, F, and D. So our subject is F, which is pretty much what it is in A. So we're going to have F squared equals 18 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 18 times 21 Let me move this over. Times 21. Cosine. Make sure you use cosine. I don't know. Personally, I've used sine sometimes by accident, and it just messes up my entire problem. And then, like, all you're gonna want to do from here is you're just gonna want to solve. So you're pretty much you're gonna have 324. So you can go ahead and simplify all this. I'm not gonna trouble myself with it. You should have. I mean, if you're already doing trigonometry, you should have the basic knowledge of doing grouping together like terms and all that. So what you're gonna essentially end up with is f squared. Oh my god, f squared equals 765 minus 756 cosine of 118. And we still have the f squared, so you're gonna wanna square root it, and you're gonna since you do something on one side, you're gonna have to do it on the other, and you're left with the square root of 765 minus 756 minus 756 times the cosine of 118. And I mean, you can simplify it however you like, but that's the most accurate answer you're going to be able to give. And I mean, like, what? Like, just give your accurate answer. Like, there's no need to simplify it anymore unless they ask you, which I'm not asking you, so just let it slide. And so that's how so that's how you find like all that work just to find f. But I mean, it comes in handy because now that you have f, you can do law of sines with everything else, because you have f and you just have to, like, you can plug in that giant equation. Or I mean, you can go to like 10 sig figs too. I don't know, Mr. Che told me that like one time, but I've never done it because I'm afraid of like failing and stuff. But you can just plug that in. So since you already have f, you can just plug, since you already have that, and you already have one of those side lengths. So now you can find angle D, and then you do the same vice versa for that. Now I'm gonna show you how to do one with just a wait, I forgot what I was going to show you. Now I'm going to show you how to find an angle when you have all the side lengths. So you're going to, like, draw your triangle or whatever. Woo! Scared the crap out of me! I'm doing a video! I have to do this for school! Oh my god. I almost had a heart attack. 7. Oh my god. No, I gotta edit that part out. Alright. So this is A, B, C, 13, 9, and 7. And so you're just gonna like plug it in, like we're gonna solve for angle C. So you're just gonna plug in 7 squared equals 13 squared plus 9 squared minus 2, 13 times 9, and then cosine of C. Oh my god. Oh my god, just redo that. Just move over a little bit. Times cosine of C. And you get 49 equals da 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 da. 49 equals 250 minus 2. Oh my god. Oh my god. 234 cosine of C. And then you just subtract 250 to get the negative 234 because of backwards Gemma. minus 250. So you're going to get negative 201 equals negative 230. Sorry, I was thinking I know it's negative. Why am I commentating this? Dude, I shouldn't be a golfer. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Ew, I'm so cringy. And then you just do undo multiplication, divide by 234. 230, negative 234, I should say. These cancel out. The negative signs do. Then it's 201 over 234. And like we did with sine, you're going to do the inverse cosine. So you're going to multiply this by the inverse cosine. And that cancels that out. And then you're also going to multiply this times the inverse cosine. And that'll give you C. And yeah, you can write it. Oh, I didn't write down the 10 digits, so I'm not going to do it here. So C would equal 201 over 234 equals length or angle C. Angle C? Angle C. So that'll just give you one of the angles, and then like I said, you can just go back and use the law of sines and all that jazz. Oh my god, this video is taking forever. What the heck? Like, I thought names was long. Should I do the multi-step one? Man. Yeah, I am, because I'm not even going to show you how to do it. So at this point, I'm going to assume that you know how to do all this. But I'm going to show you how to combine it all into one equation. So say you're given this triangle, where one of the lengths is 41, 9.2, and 13.4. And say this is A, B, and C. You don't have any of the length or side or angles of either C's. So I'm going to ask you to find either or. But you do have side length B, and you do have side length and angle A. So you're going to use the law of you're going to use the law of sines, and you're going to put sine A over sine of 41 over 9.2 equals sine of B over 13.4. So, and you might recognize this problem from what we did earlier. So you should already have wrote it down and everything. But now, except this time, we're gonna use the 10 digits that was given to us, because it's gonna give us the most accurate answer, rather than plugging in the entire equation in every single time, because that should give you the closest, as close as you need it to be, actually. So to 10 digits, that should equal angle B should equal approximately 72 point all the jazz. You like jazz? 47 degrees equals C. And you're just gonna so now that you have that for angle C, you now have enough to plug all of this in to find side length C. So you're finding both of them, actually. So now you can go C squared equals 9.2 squared plus 13.4 squared plus 13.4 squared. I should make that smaller, but I don't care. Plus 13.4 squared minus, oh my god, why didn't I just leave it there? Minus 2 times 9.2, 13.4. That was really long. I don't really care. Do your work or whatever. Then you won't have to be watching this video or doing a video essentially like I have to. God damn, that shit. Next time I'm just doing good in my school. It's too much. I'm dropping out. Is that? That's a 7. 4-7. Oh my god. So you're gonna want to simplify all of this jazz? You want to do all that? Oh my god, no, don't do anything. You're gonna want to simplify all that, and you're gonna end up getting. You should end up getting, unless I did it like completely wrong. Then I'm gonna like freaking like choke myself out or something. I don't know. 46.56 cosine of 72.85547. I'm just 4-7, and that's pretty much gonna be your answer. And like I know it's kind of confusing, but like if you don't get it, I'm trying my best, and I don't know why y'all gotta do me bogus like this. I don't know why I had to do myself bogus like this. My video's already at 30 minutes, dude. What you doing out there? I'm so sorry, but and then you're gonna do this, and then now we're gonna move on to my buddy over here. Where he at? Where he at? No, this guy. No, yeah. Oh, oh, no. So now we're gonna move on to my buddy over here, area of triangle. And area of triangle is super easy. I'm not even gonna explain it too much, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna find angles. So these are angle A, B. I mean side length AB. So here's A, here's B, and like here's damn. Here's A, here's B, and here's C. That's the big C. It's angle C. And all you're gonna want to do is plug. So say this is like 2. This is 4. This is like 22,000. I'm just kidding. 22 degrees. All you're gonna do, it's really this. Use this all the time. This works for every single triangle. So all you're gonna do is plug it in for 1/2 times 2 times 4 times sine of 22, and boom, that's gonna be your area of a triangle. And with that, yeah, I'm done. All right. I hope this uploads, and I gotta edit some part out because I yelled and shrieked like super loud. But I'm done, and I'm sad that it took so long. But okay, bye bye.